Vanilla Vince, my dear mortals. You can call me Whimsical William. Welcome to my channel. Alright, so we are past the halfway point to this very short but very sweet month. I'm out here in Minneapolis and it has been so cold. With this cold weather, I'm enjoying some steamy romance. Today we talk about sweat and soap. If you ain't already up on it, this is a really dope josei. Super cute, super wholesome. If you want to collect this manga, I highly recommend getting the box set. It's 2 box sets, 11 volumes of manga, and a bonus. Comes with a lot of cute stuff. Since the manga is about sweating a lot and different soaps, you get these scented stickers. I've had this manga box set for over a year and it still smells fresh. So nice. And then, so one side is sweet, and then this one has more savory scents, like more salty, more spicy scent. Very nice. Definitely a great reason to get this box set. You ain't click on this video to hear me gush about how dope the box sets are. We want to talk about how good this manga is. If you're an adult, it's rated for older teens, but honestly, this is for the adults. This is for the office workers, the people in their 9 to 5s. You got kids. You live an adult life. You pay all your bills. You live alone. You got a significant other, or you're wanting a significant other. Whatever the case may be, you're a grown adult. This manga caters to you. Caters to me. Caters to all of us adults living that grind. All right, I rambled enough. Let's talk about what makes this manga great. I've read 4 volumes so far. I decided to slow down a little bit and play video games, but it was really hard to put this manga down. This is probably one of the best romances that I've read for this month, and honestly, it's one of my favorites. I have a pretty extensive romance section in my manga library. And my favorite is Mysterious Girlfriend X and Eyes, or Eyes Pure. And then Emma's really good. Wotakoi is excellent. Those are like my tops, but this has Mysterious Girlfriend X vibes where there's almost a fetish involved, but the fetish helps the couple understand each other on a deeper level than just talking, connecting in whatever normal ways you think that couples are supposed to connect and convey each other's feelings. For Mysterious Girlfriend X, it was taste, and it was drool, which was kind of gross for most people. It's definitely bizarre, but it turned out to be one of the most wholesome romances I've ever got the chance to explore. I read the manga, I watched the anime, and I think it's criminally underrated and also just niche. It's very unique in its storytelling and how it makes something so alien seem so normal. Sweat and Soap is the same way, except instead of taste, it's scent that makes this couple connect. So we got spoilers coming up ahead, so if you just want to check the manga out and you don't want to know anything about it because of how I'm gushing about it, then I would stop the video now. But if you want to know some of the plot and some of the things that happen, and I don't know the full story, but I know how it ends. The second box set and some of the covers kind of give you a spoiler on how it's going to end up. But you really don't know how it's going to get there. It's kind of like one of my favorite novels right now, Secret History by Donna Tartt. It's a murder mystery, but before you get to the first page, before you get into the first chapter, you know who kills who. You're left wondering, well, what's the point of reading this? The point is, why? Why is this character doing this? And as you read, you're like, the main character who's explaining it, he's also the murderer. He's such a chill person, and he just doesn't seem like he's capable of murder. And the person that he murders is kind of annoying, but not annoying enough to where you're like, this guy's got to die. So it keeps you reading and you're trying to figure out why this happened. What drove this character to do this to another character? In this story, spoilers, how did this sweaty girl get married to a guy that's obsessed with scents, obsessed with smelling things, and he creates a soap in the company that they both work for. So I'll tell you how they meet. I'm like all over the place right now. ADHD gang. All right, so they meet because Asuka, our heroine in this story, she is like freaking out. She's sweating and she's trying to, get some comfort and just trying to get through this hallway to the elevator. And this guy's like, yo, what's that smell? And then she's freaking out more. She's like, oh my God, do I stink? And then he's like, oh, it's you. And she's super shy. Not the New Jeans song. She's really shy. Like every other time you see her, she's blushing. She's just really shy. Either she's blushing or sweating. And he's like, no, you smell incredible. And then he explains how he's the person that comes up with the smells and scents and he creates all the soap. They both work for a fragrance soap company. He makes the soap, he creates the fragrances, and she's in financial department. So she's like, I love all of his soaps. Like she's obsessed with soap because she's traumatized by people calling her smelly back when she was in, I think, middle school, maybe even elementary school. So she's been obsessed with, hygiene, keeping herself really fresh, and she sweats really easily. And it's crazy because me personally, while I'm reading this, I'm like, I never sweat. Like it was 100 degrees and I was in a leather jacket. Like it takes a lot for me to sweat. So when I see people who sweat easily, I'm like, wow, that's a totally different life. And her life is so different. Like she doesn't choose clothes based on how they look or how they feel. She chooses clothes by, can you see my armpits sweating? Am I gonna sweat through it? Am I gonna feel sticky? And am I gonna smell bad in these clothes? So it's really interesting, her perspective. I didn't realize that people who sweat a lot have to go through so much to make sure that they're not offending the people around them. And then I don't know, some people just don't really care about who they offend or who they affect. So I love that about her character. There are so many things about her character that are great. Let me get off this tangent and get back to how they met. So he's like, wow, you smell amazing. I got a deadline to make a new soap. It's coming up soon. Could you be my inspiration? He's a character that is completely honest, transparent, and really passionate. And I see myself a lot in this character, which is scary because reading his character is like, damn, this guy could be creepy. But he's really wholesome and he's really sweet, so that balances him out. And I can only hope and really strive to also be that level of kind and transparent. I get my moments where I'm kind of mean or I'm kind of short with people. And I really want to be kind and sweet. And I don't want to come across as creepy just because I'm overly opinionated and I have very strong ideals. When this character, both of these characters are just so great. She's like freaking out. She's like, don't smell me. And then he's like, I need this. Like, I really want to make sense based off of, you, like you inspired me. It's not going to be the same scent, but you just inspired me to do so many different, I just have so many ideas because of you. And she starts thinking to herself, I really love his soap and I really want to contribute to the company. I want to help him out. He's like made me feel fresh and made me feel less self-conscious about the way that I sweat. So she's like, all right, I'll let you smell me. He does it in such a creepy way. He's like all up on her, like, I need more. And reading it, I'm just like, this is cringy. I'm not gonna lie, it's creepy. Some of the covers, I love how the covers change. The material doesn't change. It's always them, the couple, but you see how uncomfortable she looks. And at first I thought she was uncomfortable with him. But as you read on in the story, you realize she has no self-esteem and she's uncomfortable with herself. But she's trying to break out of that shell and she likes him a lot. And at first she's trying to do it for him, and then later on she starts to get self-respect and do it for herself. The character development is fire. It's really good. And with him, he's not selfish at all, but he's like a bull. Like he's straight ahead, straight ahead, straight ahead. She helps him get a more broad vision and be able to see the forest from the trees. Like they're such a wholesome, such a good couple. Like they're just not toxic at all. They might have a few traits that seem toxic, but they work through it seamlessly. Like he could be a little jealous. She could be a little jealous. She doesn't have a lot of self-esteem. He's unsure of himself in a different type of way. It clashes, but they connect with each other and they tell each other how they feel. I'm gonna get to the scent part of how they connect though. So she agrees, it helps him out, and he's like, I want to smell you more. I want to make like more products. And then he's like, I like you. And then she's like, I like you too. And this part was a little strange to me because they hit it off really quickly, even though she seemed like she wasn't into it, and it seemed like it was forced. But as I read on, I realized that it wasn't forced, and it happened quickly, but things happen quickly when they fall into place. It's just how it works. But I'm not used to seeing things like that, but I'm used to reading things like that. But the difference is, when I read a relationship where a couple hits it off immediately and they move in together and they're cooking with each other and everything just happens like that, it sets you up to where a character is gonna die, a character is gonna get bitter, or something bad is gonna happen. I subconsciously didn't want that for these characters. Instead, everything happened organically and everything happened in such an adult way. I guess I'm used to a lot of shoujos and shonens where the plot is padded with so much conflict. And conflict is needed in a story in order for it to be enticing and to give way to character development. But I think that shoujos and shonens that have romance in them rely too heavily on conflict. Like everything has to be conflict. There's not enough balance in my opinion. This Doug DeMuro, if you know, you know. Sweat and Soap and Wotakoi are two joseis that I have in my collection where the conflict, just the smooth sailing moments just run so well. Like there's a moment in this manga where you think that Asako, the guy that she's talking to, is gonna have an argument. So spoiler real quick, his lease is up in like February or March. So he's like, maybe we could move in together and just really enjoy each other's company all the time. He really didn't think it through. He just thought it was a dope thought. So he calls her. He's like, hey, my lease is up. What do you think about moving in together? And then when he said it, he was like, wow, that sounds kind of fast, kind of crazy. Because they've been dating at this point for like 4 or 5 months. Like he's not trying to move fast, but he enjoys being around her so much. And his place, for one person, is a decent size, like mine. But when she comes over, it feels cramped. Like when she's trying to cook or, you know, when they're, you know, just laying down, hanging out. He's like, it would be nicer to get a bigger place and to just spend time with you. And he loves scent, so he like wants her scent all around where he lives, which is so sweet, so wholesome. And she's like, let me think about it. Her tone on the phone was pretty monotone from his point of view as I read through the panels and saw the expression on his face. And usually, probably like volumes 1 through 3, when he feels something, it'll show a panel of him. And then when she feels something or she's reacting to it, you see her. But they deliberately didn't show us what her facial expression looked like and how she, you know, felt or what she was doing, twiddling her fingers or whatever, from her point of view. They didn't show her point of view. So you felt the same anxiety that the guy felt because he was unsure as to what she was feeling, because in this manga, he can tell how she's feeling based on her scent. So she's happy, she has this scent. It's like his favorite scent. And when they're doing the thing, you know, she has a similar scent to happiness. When she's sad or worried or full of anxiety, she has another scent. So he can predict how she's feeling based off of what she smells like. Really similar to Mysterious Girlfriend X. He'll taste her drool, you know, he could tell almost what she's thinking or what she's feeling. Not completely, but he can get an idea like, oh, she's not showing it in her face, but that really hurt her. That really made her sad. This guy, he's like, I don't see her in her face, but she smells like she's sad. I smelled this scent before. And he's so good with scents. She'll take a shower. He's like, oh, you're using my new rose soap. You're using this soap. Hey, you're using another soap. I only want you to use my soap. He's a diva like that. But yeah, I really enjoy this manga. Before I talk any more about it, I don't really need to give any more spoilers, but I will say that if you're into wholesome stuff, you're into romance, you're into like real adult situations, them moving in together, talking about maybe getting married, not understanding relationships 100%, asking their coworkers, like, yo, you just got dumped. I don't want to get dumped. How do I avoid that? Or was I selfish right here? Was I only thinking of myself? I thought I was thinking about her, but was I? It's just so many integral adult themes that happen in this story that I can relate to, and I think that all of you can relate to too. And if you're young, maybe you won't relate to it, but maybe if you're like, I don't know, 16, 17, give it a try. You might mess with it. You might like it. I will say that this manga really balances out being wholesome and being steamy. It's got some steamy scenes for sure. It's kind of unexpected. It's not out of nowhere. Like you expect it to happen, but the way that it happens is just like, oh, okay. But it's really nice. It's really sweet. You might shed a few tears if you're that type of person. You know, to get moved by two people really sharing their emotions with each other, being vulnerable with each other, and just really showing appreciation and showing how much they care. You know, there are some characters that come up that could possibly be antagonist, but they're short-lived, and that's like my only gripe. That's like the only thing that stops this from being like a 9.5. So far, I'm on volume 4. I'm about to be on volume 5. I would give it a 9. I can't give it a 9.5 or a 10 because like there is a good balance of conflict and just smooth sailing. That's what I'm going to call it. The smooth sailing outweighs the conflict. Every conflict that pops up is usually within their relationship and their personalities, which is really sweet. But there are other characters who have the potential to really wreck things and really make things more difficult and to, you know, make their bond stronger in the long run if they can overcome it. One of the characters confesses like, well, I loved you for so many years. And it's like, ooh, this is gonna be rough. She ends up becoming friends with Asuko, which maybe it could spell trouble down the line, but so far it's just wholesome, which is great. Another character, you know, he's like, I don't know, I think you're a lady killer. I think you're a player. And he was like a really good antagonist. Like his character is just so well written and he looks cool. He's only shown in like one chapter, maybe two, and then it's over. You don't hear from him for a while. I didn't hear from him for like another volume or two. So it's a little disappointing, but I'm in volume 4 and I'm loving it. I can't put it down. I highly recommend this if you're trying to get some romance in your life. With that being said, thank you so much for checking out another video and rocking with me throughout this romantic month. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Before I go, I do want to show a few volumes, at least 1 through 6. So let's show you that real quick. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. You see what I mean about how nervous she looked or how uncomfortable she looked, and once you get to like volume 3, she really starts to warm up to him and they just really look really happy. I love that. It kind of tells you the story before you even open it up if you look at the volumes. Not every cover to a manga or book tells you that much of the story and tells you that much about the characters. When I first saw the first volume, I'm like, it's probably really creepy. I don't think I want to read this. But I gave it a shot. I read like the first few chapters. I didn't even finish the first volume, and I'm like, yeah, I like this a lot. I'm definitely gonna read it. I'm really enjoying it. So, like I said, check it out, especially if you're into romance and you're wanting to read something more adult, not about high school kids. These are salary people, they're in their mid 20s, early 30s. I think Asako is like 26 or 27, so really relatable. If you haven't already and you feel like it, subscribe. That will help me out a lot. Trying to reach 1,000, maybe do some podcasts in the future about anime figures and manga and anime and all stuff nerdy, video games and things like that. Yeah, once I get 1,000, it's just gonna really inspire me to make more content, upgrade the cameras, upgrade the microphone, and just really keep moving forward. So again, that would mean the world to me. Comment, like, all that good YouTube stuff. Tell me what you think about the video, the format, and this manga. And what are you reading right now if you got this far? What are you enjoying? Are you reading romance for this month? Are you not into romance? You like giant robots? You like superpowers? You like sports? What do you like? Let me know in the comments down below. Peace.